name is Chris Iwaz of Iwaz Productions, A-I-W-A-Z. As a matter of fact, all right, my name is Chris Iwaz of Iwaz Production, and I'm going to explain to you the linguistic culture in American language, all right, especially in pop culture and especially in hip-hop culture. All right, one of the things I want to explain to you is the lyrics of Jay-Z, Sean Jay-Z Carter, of the president and CEO of Rockefeller Records, and then featuring Alicia Keys in a song called New York Empire. In the beginning of his rap lyrics, the first line goes, "Yeah, yeah, I'm up at Brooklyn, now down in Tribeca." All right, some of the interesting lines, I'm gonna just skip to the interesting lines. I'm gonna mark them down here. Okay, leave out the self-explanatory ones because that's wasting time. So when he says that he Robert De Niro's neighbor, he's telling you that he made it. He made it out from the bottom, and now he's on the top, rubbing elbows with the big guys, you know, big Hollywood guys. But I'll be hood forever. When he says I'll be hood forever, basically he's saying that even though he's in high places with high people who are well known and rich, he still be hood forever. Basically, he still remember where he came from, which is the ghetto, the bottom, the slums. Okay, so basically saying he'll never forget where he come from. All right. All right. I used to cop in Harlem all of my Dominicanos. Okay. When you say I used to cop in Harlem, basically cop is a slang term we use for buying. He won't say exactly what he's copping, but he say I used to cop in Harlem. He used to go to Harlem to cop whatever it is he's going to cop, or basically buy whatever it is that he's going to buy. I can't make any allegations of what he's going to buy because he never stated. He never gave that allegation, so I'm not going to go there. You know. All right, right there up on Broadway. Brought me back to that McDonald's. Basically, he's saying that in Harlem, in a place in Harlem, whereas there's a lot of Dominican people that he would go to do his business with, now he's right there in Broadway and McDonald's. Now, there's a McDonald's somewhere on Broadway in Harlem. Okay, that's where he used to go, and I guess, you know, congregate. Let me just say that for the least. I took it to my stash spot, 560 State Street. 560 State Street is a location downtown in Manhattan where a lot of big guys, you know, CEOs and people like that who have money go and do their business as far as like banking, to say the least. All right. Catch me in the kitchen like a Simmons whipping pastry. Well, in case most of you don't know, this is basically, how can I put this? Narcotic talk. Okay. Now, cruising down 8th Street, off-white Lexus. That's pretty self-explanatory. Okay. Concrete jungle where dreams are made of. You want me to explain that part or just skip that? Skip that, okay. Catch me at the X with OG at the Yankee game. Basically, he's saying at the X. In the Bronx, the last letter of the Bronx is X, and we just say X for short. Some of us, we just say X for short. All right, so you got that, you like that, right? All right, with OG at a Yankee game. OG is basically a figure of speech that we call someone who's older, like elders, like an elder person in a village, like an elder person in a neighborhood, OG. So it was originally called original gangster, but people who are older, who've been in the streets a long time, we usually give them respect and call them by that title. Sometimes, not all the time. You know, some older people don't like that. You know, they don't like that kind of attention. But yeah. You should know I bleed blue, but I ain't a Crip though. He said, you should know that I bleed blue. When you say you should know that I bleed blue, you always see him with a Yankee hat. Ever since he first started out as a rapper, he always had a Yankee hat, and Yankee hats are blue. So basically he's saying that he bleed blue, and Yankee hats represent New York because of the logo, and the initials of the logo is basically the initial of New York and why. So being that he wears that hat all the time, he bleeds blue, and New York represents blue because, well, basically Yankees made New York represent blue. Yeah, unauthorized. Yeah. All right, but I ain't a Crip though. So we have street gangs all across, not just in New York, but across the U.S. And not just across the U.S., but in the entire world. There's a lot of gangs out there, and the two major gangs is out there that's right now that are mainstream. They're basically street gangs. One is Bloods, they wear red, and the other one is Crips, they wear blue. And Jay-Z said, yeah, you should know I bleed blue, but I ain't a Crip though. It's basically self-explanatory. He's not a Crip because Crips represent blue colors. Okay. Now, the next line is, welcome to the melting pot, corners where they're selling rock. The melting pot is basically, everybody know what that is, you know, where they selling rock. A lot of people of all nationalities, all races, are coming to the underworld in New York to do their drug business, basically. You have the next one. The next one is foreigners that ain't 50 act like they forgot, they don't know how to act. Basically, he's saying that people who are not from this country come here, who are under the age 50, lose themselves, lose their original culture, whatever they're from, lose their culture when they get involved with American culture. Basically, that's what he's saying. Me, I got a plug. Special ed, I got it made. When you say I got a plug, that's basically he means I got a connection. And Special Ed is a rapper from the 1980s who had a hit song, a one-hit song called I Got It Made. So basically he's got it, when he say that when you have a connection, you basically got it made. You know, that's part of self-explanatory, but he said it in little riddles that some of us can understand. You know, 3 dice CeeLo, 3-card Monty. 3 dice CeeLo is a crap game that normally people play in the ghetto. It's an illegal gambling game that's all across the world. Every ghetto across the world plays that. I'm pretty sure of that, and I've seen some documentaries on it. It's basically 3 dice, and it's for people who want to earn extra money amongst their colleagues or their neighbors or whoever's into that street life. And 3-card Monty is basically 3 cards. Many people know that. 3 cards, you got to pick which one and try to find out which card that they tell you to pick, and you already know what that is. These two games are very famous, very infamous in the underworld of New York, so to speak. The next one is 3 dice CeeLo, 3-card Monty. Labor Day Parade, rest in peace, Bob Marley. Labor Day Parade, every Labor Day in Eastern Park, New York. There's a parade for everyone who's from Jamaican to all the Caribbean. Everyone who's from the Caribbeans or Jamaican, they have a parade on Labor Day and in Brooklyn every Labor Day, every year. All right, and he said, Labor Day Parade, rest in peace, Bob Marley. Basically, he's saying that just because majority of the people there at this parade and Labor Day are Jamaican, and Bob Marley represents Jamaicans. So basically, he's saying that, you know, it's all about Jamaicans. You know, he's commemorating Jamaicans because they contributed a lot to the ghettos of Brooklyn and North Bronx. Yeah. All right. Real quick. The sidelines is blind with casualties. The sidelines is blind with casualties. The sidelines is blind with casualties. Basically, he's saying that people who are on the sidelines, basically people who are spectating the activities, the illegal activities that's going on in their neighborhood, are tempted to get involved because they see how the players in the underworld are coming up and making money and living a glamorous life, and now they want part of it. And then, you know, these sideliners are basically people who are do-gooders, people who try to do good, walk a straight and narrow, but they sidetracked by people who are flashy, and they want to be like them because they're tired of their low-paying wage jobs and things like that. And once they become part of that, a lot of them, once they become a part of that lifestyle, they end up falling off track, and they end up falling below the person that was already in the game, you know. who sip in life casually, then gradually become worse. People who normally take it easy become addicted to the underworld, making a lot of money in the underworld, and then they turn and then that the benefits and the fortune becomes unfortunate once they get too attached, and they start losing their focus on the things that's on morals and things that's more valuable to them. Then they just gradually become worse of a person inside. All right, don't bite the apple, Eve, caught up in the crowd. When you say don't bite the apple, Eve, basically he's making a reference to the Bible in Genesis, the book of Genesis in the Bible, where Eve bit the apple. I'm pretty sure everyone knows this part in the Bible. And basically New York, the logo for New York is an apple, a bitten apple. So basically that's basically what he's saying. New York is kind of a bad place when it comes to the underworld, and New York represents the apple. Okay, so basically there's a lot of metaphors. Jay-Z speaks with a lot of metaphors and mixed with slang and ebonics. Okay, that's why a lot of times it becomes tricky for people who have untrained ears. The only way you can have untrained ears is not only just watching this video, but also becoming a part of people who are raised in this lifestyle. You know? In vogue with your skin out. The city of sin, the pity on the wind. Good girls going bad, the city's filled with them. First of all, when you said vogue with your skin out and good girls going bad, they both go hand in hand. Basically, you will find girls in the wintertime of all races, all nationalities going to a club trying to look hot in 10 degrees below weather with no jacket on. And we have women who are in the prostitution lifestyle, who also underdress in the wintertime or the summertime, no matter the weather or season. They also become subject to a lot of abuse when it comes to the underworld. Basically, that's what you're trying to say too. So some of these girls are good girls who become attracted to bad guys, and that's everywhere in the world. That's just humanity, period. All right, the last one that everyone needs to know, excuse me, about Sean Jay-Z Carter's lyric, to close it out. I skipped a lot of parts because pretty much everything else is self-explanatory. The last one is the city never sleeps, better sip, you and Ambien. Basically, New York, everyone knows New York is the city that never sleeps. So basically, sip you and Ambien. Ambien is some kind of drink that keeps you up. It's kind of like a coffee, a drink that keeps you up. So basically, he's not saying that just to say that. It's also kind of like a subliminal message, more like a subtle message that if you're in the lifestyle of a regular New Yorker, which is a person that's in the New York life, and I mean the street life of New York, not necessarily the underworld where you're dealing with drugs, just being in New York, living in New York, period. Basically, he said, when he says the city that never sleeps, that basically means keep your eyes open, sleep with one eye open, because there's always somebody out there that's watching your things. Sip you an Ambien. Ambien is, like I said, Ambien is a drink that keeps you up. Basically, he's saying that it's a city that never sleeps, so you better not sleep either. Because once you go to sleep, your stuff will be missing. Or possibly your life. So basically, yeah. And so a lot of things that Jay-Z say is not only for New Yorkers to embrace. That's for everyone around the world who live in an environment where there's a lot of hostility and violence, and basically people who are trying to do what they got to do to survive, even if they're trying to survive against someone else who's trying to survive, who would try to use them to survive. You know, if that makes any sense, if you catch on to that. You know, but everyone can celebrate these lyrics because these are very powerful lyrics, and I really respect Jay-Z as an artist ever since he first started out. His best album everyone should listen to is Reasonable Doubt. And In My Lifetime, Volume 1 and Reasonable Doubt, his first two mainstream albums are the best. They'll tell you a lot of things that you need to know, okay? Anyone have any questions, you can also contact me, Chris Iwaz, at iwazproductions@gmail.com. That's AIWAZ Productions at gmail.com.